So talk to me a little bit about the switch on and switch off, and how does the brain prepare for this? And if I were listening to this ContraMinds podcast, uh, how do I switch on and switch off? It's so hard, right? Because it's great to read about it, but so difficult to practice, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And so what we did is we studied a lot of people. We ended up calling them the thrivers, who had low stress, but they were high performers. And we wanted to know, what are their strategies or tactics. So I'll give you one example. We learned from an executive at one of the top companies in the US, a technology company, and he said this work environment he's in is very, very intense. Anyone who survives for 3 years is considered a veteran. I was like, oof, it's tough. 3 years. How long have you been here? And he said, a decade. And I said, well, how'd you last so long without burning out? He said, I did burn out, but then I learned new methods and started applying them. And I said, okay, what were they? And he gave me two really good ones. The first one was called the 1-1-1 mechanism. And this was the idea that he would never usually take breaks, and he just couldn't get himself to take holidays or vacations because there was so much on. And then he burned out, but he realized he was good at following his calendar. So one of the things he did is at the start of the year, he booked in his 1-1-1 mechanism was once a year, he booked in one long vacation. Once a quarter, he booked in one short vacation. And once a month, he booked in one day off. And he combined these with public holidays and weekends and things like this, so it all fit. But for the first time in his career, he would switch off and take vacations and breaks. And I was like, okay. And that was such a simple one that many people have now tried, the 1-1-1 mechanism. And I said, that's good. He said, but the most important change I made to switch my mind off, and he paused for a moment and he said, was dancing. Like, dancing? He said, yes, Argentinian tango to be precise. And I was like, what? This is not what I expected from this executive in this technology company. And he said, and it was exactly what you were saying, Swami. He said, I used to go home and my brain would not switch off. And he said, until I tried Argentinian tango and I discovered it is the opposite of my work world. He said, in Argentinian tango, you must be in your heart and you must be in your body, two places I really am at work. And he said the currency in Argentinian tango is the opposite. He said no one cares how much money you make, what your job title is, who you work for. The only thing that matters, the only currency is, can you dance? So he says, I go along in the evenings, I'm with this community, I'm in my heart, I'm in my body, I'm sweating, I'm moving, the music's going, and he says, I am completely present with what is going on, and my work world disappears. And he said, it is like as my opposite world. I was like, well, I've never heard that phrase. We kept interviewing people over and over again. We found that people who are good at switching off often had opposite worlds, and that completely engaged them, made them present, and their work world disappears. So we now ask people, do you have an opposite world? And what happens when you engage in it? And some people say no. Some people go, yes, I do. I didn't realize. And they start to realize that was very important. Many people say yes, but I never do it anymore because I'm too busy. So 1-1-1 and opposite worlds were two methods we found very effective for helping people switch off.
Fantastic and brilliant.